Hello everybody! Today I am here to talk to you about Kuva Lich hunting. Now, this guide is specifically aimed at those who may have not hunted a Lich before or are very new to it. So, first there is a few things that we are going to have done before we can hunt a Kuva Lich. So let's step into Professor Octavia's classroom. So first, you do have to have completed the War Within quest. You have to be at least Mastery rank 5 or more, and you also have to have a Railjack built and equipped. And then lastly, you do also need to have your Parazon glyphs. Now, when I talk about Parazon glyphs, I mean that those that you get from Kuva Requiem relics, and they do look like this. Now, of these glyphs, the most important one to note is the Ul. This one is a shifting glyph. It can take the place of any other glyph, so it is really good to use when you are just starting your Lich hunt before you know any of the prerequisite murmurs. Now, the next thing that is important before we start our Lich hunting journey is that you do have to keep in mind your Progenitor Warframe. Now, the Progenitor Warframe, it can affect the type of ephemera that your Lich can show up with. However, I do want it to be noted that ephemeras are only a 20% or a 1 in 5 chance of spawning on a Lich, according to the wiki. So more or less, we're just worried about the bonuses for the weapon. However, if you have a specific ephemera that you're after, that's great as well. I will drop the link to the wiki that shows you the different Kuva weapons and the Lich ephemeras that can be gotten in the description of the video below, so you can check that out at your own leisure. On to the actual Lich hunt. Now, I am doing this on my Wukong Prime because I would like to try to get the physical impact ephemera, which probably won't happen, but I'd like to try for it anyway. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put ourselves into solo mode, and we are going to go to the Cassini capture node on the planet Saturn. Cassini is a really popular place to spawn Liches because it's easy to do. And basically what we're going to do after we load into the mission, we're going to capture the target, and then we are immediately going to start killing everything as fast as we can. Now, once the screen starts flickering black, as it did immediately after capturing the target, that signals that a Lich is watching the area. So once we have killed enough enemies, we are going to get a Kuva Guardian Lich thrall to spawn. And so as you can see, there's the Kuva Guardian. And then we're going to go kill the thrall. And we're going to walk up to the thrall to see what the weapon would be. Now, in this case, it is the Kuva Seer, and I'm not really impressed by that because I didn't like the original Seer, so I am going to abort the mission. This will remove the Kuva Seer from being in the pool of potential weapons that I can get. Basically, if you're hunting for a specific weapon, you're just going to be running this mission, inspecting the thrall to see what the Lich would have, and if you don't like the weapon, just abort and exit and try again until you get the weapon that you are looking for. Now, in my second capture mission, this Lich thrall spawned with the Kuva Dragoon weapon. That's fine, I'm happy with that. I got a great mod for it from the Dog Days event, and I was itching to replace my regular Dragoon anyway. So I am going to hold down X to mercy kill this thrall, which then spawns the Lich. This converts the Kuva larvaling into the Lich. We've got now a message from the Kuva Guardian, and once we return to our orbiter or base of operations, we can then check out all of the details of our Lich. So as you can see, now that I'm back in my orbiter, I get this nice little pop-up that So Gligorek rises. I hope that's how you say his name. Some of these Lich names are pretty crazy. And then he's just going off on his villain monologue. As you can see, I'm clicking on navigation, and then it's going to be this little red box down in the lower right corner, and we can check out our Lich. Now, if your Lich spawned with an ephemera, you will be able to see it in this screen. Unfortunately, mine did not. And then my weapon bonus is 50% impact because I was using an impact physical Warframe to try to get an ephemera. and it'll tell you anything here about his resistances, his immunities, where we got him from, and who the Progenitor Warframe was. And then now that we're done spawning the Lich, you don't have to be under Progenitor Warframe. You can be on any Warframe you want from here on out. The Progenitor is only used to spawn it. After that, it does not matter. Now, off to the right of the Lich screen, we're going to see here where it says Requiem attempts are tracked here. Up at the very top, it's going to show what Requiem glyphs you currently have equipped in your Parazon. There's also going to be the option down at the bottom to modify your Parazon, which will take you directly to that screen in your arsenal. And then we also have Requiem attempts are tracked here, and we have known Requiems. So Requiem basically means these little funky glyphs. You get them by opening Kuva Requiem relics, and you get Requiem relics by running either Kuva Siphon or Kuva Flood. Kuva Flood has a 100% chance to give you a relic. Siphon only has, I believe it's like a 20 or 30% chance. And then you can also get relics from defeating thralls. So as we're running these missions, you may notice relics dropping from the thralls that we are mercy killing. So now that I've made sure you know that I've still got those Requiem glyphs in my Parazon, the next thing we're going to do to start hunting the Lich, we're going to go to navigation. We're going to look for the planet that is shrouded in red. In this case, Earth is shrouded in red. And when we click on a mission, it's going to show in detail, it'll say the name of your Lich. So for example, it'll say Glyphs controlled territory capture. These are the missions that you want to be doing, and you want to make sure that you're on public, because that way there can just be more people in there to help you. Now, I mean, if you like doing it solo, that is totally fine as well. I just find it's a little bit more efficient in groups, given that the levels of the enemies are a little bit higher. So we're going to basically clear out these missions in order to get what we call Requiem murmurs. And as we're doing the mission, you will notice that the little red old blood enemy symbols will pop up where the thralls are. As we mercy kill each thrall, it will give us Requiem murmur progress, and when we have enough of them collected, it will reveal another murmur or glyph, and that is one of the 3 known glyphs in the combination in order to defeat the Lich. Now, sometimes the Lich may spawn in, so I recommend that when you are first starting the hunt, you always start with all the meta glyph in the first slot. This basically enables you to immediately progress through at least one progress bar of the Lich, so that hopefully if you have some more random ones, maybe you're guessed correctly, and it'll cut down on the time that you need in order to spend collecting and figuring out what the known glyphs are. Now, you can see at the end of this mobile defense mission that I did that the Requiem circle did flash that it was full. So once I'm out of that mission, here I'm examining what known Requiem I got, and I got Reese. So now that I know that that is one of the known Requiems, I'm going to replace one of the 2 other glyphs in my Parazon that isn't ult with the Reese glyph, and then a 3rd random one. And then as we get in attempts on our Lich, it will tell us what the actual order is. Right now, we just simply don't have enough information, but at least we know one of the 3 glyphs for certain. Now, it can feel like a lengthy process, but I can assure you, once you have this down, and assuming that you have a decently built Warframe with at least a lot of decent mods on it, this should not take very long. For me, this total process from start to finish of spawning the Lich to completely vanquishing the Lich took me just under 2 hours, and that is including breaks. Now, here in this mission, as we can see, I actually did encounter my Lich, and then you have to lower its health down in order to be able to use your Parazon to try to see if the glyph that you have is correct. So obviously get a free pass with the bull. We gotta wait for him to do his villain monologue. We gotta kill him down again. And then we're doing the second one. I had Reese as the second. That's correct. And then I tried the 3rd one with the random one I had. It was not correct. So we know for certain that Reese is in the middle. And then every time that you do not successfully basically send this Lich to the Railjack mission for the final encounter, he's going to rank up. So he is now rank 2. And as you can see, we've almost got the second known Requiem circle filled in from this mission. Now in this exterminate mission here, you can see that I've successfully filled in another Requiem circle, so we'll be able to check that out when we get out of this mission. Now, you may have noticed other teammates' Liches will also show up during the mission, so it is wise to keep an eye, or at least remember what the name of your specific Lich is, so that way if yours does happen to spawn in a mission, at least you know it's yours, because sometimes people may not know what the name of their Lich is, which I did have happen in one mission. So the known Requiem we just got from that mission is Voam, so I am going to put this in the last spot since we know for sure that Reese is in the middle. Now here in this mobile defense mission, my Lich has spawned again, so we can try out the new combination that we just learned with that second known glyph. And Voam was not right in the third slot. So in this case, when I get back to the orbiter, I'm going to switch Voam to the front or to the back, at least until we get that third known Requiem unlocked. Now I have my third Requiem Murmur, my third known glyph, which is Kuva. And since we do know that Voam was not in the third position, that means we're putting Voam in first, followed by Reese, then followed by Kuva. So now, the next time our Lich shows up, we just have to get him down. It's going to send him to orbit for the final encounter. So here, as you can see, my Lich spawned, he's down, and once we have successfully completed the series of glyphs, it's going to tell us that he flees, and then it'll tell us to which planet. And in this case, he flees to the Saturn Proxima. Now this is where the railjack comes into play, because anytime you see Proxima listed after a planet, that means it is a railjack mission. So upon returning to the orbiter, what we are going to do is we are going to go to the railjack specific star map. You can see here Kuva Lich confrontation, and it matches us in with other people because there is a lot of people doing Lich content all of the time. Now, essentially this starts out as a regular railjack mission. Once the objectives for railjack are completed, we're then going to board the Drinier ship, and then the Liches of the players in the party can spawn randomly in any order. In this case, my Lich ends up spawning last. Now, once my Lich is defeated, you can see here we do have two options. We have capture, which is convert, or we have vanquish. Now, if you choose to capture the Lich, you can then use it as a crew member on your railjack, and the Lich will also come to assist you should you get downed in a mission. It has a random chance to spawn in and assist you for, I believe it is up to 5 minutes, and then you will get a sigil. But the key is here, if you choose to convert the Lich, you do not get the weapon. So if you want the weapon, you need to vanquish a Lich. Now, there are two different sigils that you will get for this. You will get one for converting, and you will get one for vanquishing. So you should at least do both once if you are a collector and you want both sigils. Now, I do want to let you know that all of the loot that your Lich stole during this whole experience, that is returned to you once you vanquish or convert the Lich. You get all of that loot back. And then as you can see here, we've got a nice mail in our inbox. We've got an old blood emblem. Forgive me, it's an emblem, not a sigil, that you get. And then we have the Kuva Dragoon. So once we acknowledge this mail, the Kuva Dragoon is actually going to go to our foundry, and we can pick it up from there. It does not have any crafting time. Another important thing that I want you to note about the Kuva weapons is it does bypass the mastery requirement. So for example, the mastery requirement on this Kuva weapon is 13 normally for a regular Dragoon. But because it's the Kuva version, you should still be able to use this even at a lower mastery level. At least that's what the wiki says. So now, of course, I've been above the mastery level for all of these weapons for a long time. So if you do find out anything different or you're not able to use your Kuva weapon, let me know in the comments below, because that's what the wiki said. As I've said, I've just been at 19 here for quite a while. The other important thing that I want you to note about these Kuva weapons is that you will need to farm them 5 times in order to get them to a maximum level. That is because the maximum level for Kuva weapons is actually 40 instead of 30 like basic weapons, so it does give you those 10 extra ranks, which adds considerably to the basic stats of the weapon. Well, that is it for this video on Kuva Lich hunting for beginners. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below and I would be more than happy to help. Hopefully this information helped you out, and as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.